Okay, so the goal of this video is to step through the kind of content of the map viewer. So again, if you're logged into your account, if you click on the map object here, then you can open up the map viewer. Right now it's opening to a blank map centered over the US, continental or the CONUS. Let's just talk through what some of these different buttons do. So if you go over here to the left side, this add button allows you to add content or data. We'll talk about adding a lot of different data layers and whatnot using different methods in later videos. This layers button allows you to look at the layers that you have loaded into your map. So let's just add a layer. I'm just going to try to load something in from my content first off. So I'm going to add in this HUC 12 summary layer here. All right, so this opens up a set of watershed boundaries for the Mon River watershed. So as you see, once that's added, then you have it automatically pops up some options for symbolizing it and formatting it and whatnot. And again, we're going to look at that stuff later. So that's just an example there of adding a layer. So now if we go into our layer here, we can see that that layer is listed. And we can turn it on and off. If we're clicked on that layer, that object, then again, panes will pop up on the right side that have to do with formatting it and whatnot. So add layers, view layers. This is for viewing tables that you have loaded in. If you have any tables, I don't. This is for changing the base map. So we have the kind of default Esri topographic base map, but we could change to something else if we wanted. Okay, this is for working with and formatting charts. I don't have any charts in here. This is for showing the legend. Right now we just have one layer and it's not really showing any attributes, so it's pretty simple. This is for working with bookmarks, so you can add new bookmarks. If bookmarks are already been created, you can access those there. So that'll just kind of allow you to zoom to a certain center and extent. This button here, save and open. So this is just a new map. I'm not going to save it. Well, actually, I'll show you how to save. I'm not going to actually save it. But if we do save as here, it'll open up a pane and we can fill this out. And if we hit save, it'll save this map as an object into the content here. So you generally have to provide a title. Note that you can put it in a subfolder. There's even an option right there to create a new subfolder if you want to save it in. You should generally add tags. That's useful because it allows you to search and whatnot. And I don't think you have to add a summary, but again, that's generally good practice. So you fill that out, hit save, it'll save that map. Anytime there are pending saves, there'll be a little blue dot there. So once it's saved, you can go in here and save the object. You can also open an existing map or create a new map. One thing you should be careful about is remembering to save any changes before you leave the page or open a new map or whatnot. This is map properties. So you can set a background color. By default, there isn't one. Preserve map scale. This, I actually don't really know what that does. So open the map at the save scale, preserving the relative size of features across the device. Devices otherwise, scale varies to show the features in the saved extent. Okay, so that's to do with, again, just scale preservation. I don't generally use that, obviously. And then this is for like enabling a time slider if you have like some time enabled data. Okay, once you have a map made, there should be options for sharing it. Let me just save it actually. We'll just so we can look at some of these other options. I'm just going to say HUC, which is Hydrologic Unit Code 12 map. And I'm just going to put this in that new folder that I created for this video series. So it's the new ArcGIS Online videos. I'm going to do ArcGIS Online, West Virginia view, and then watersheds. This isn't a real project really, so it doesn't matter. And then I'll hit save there. Notice it didn't make me put a summary. So now you can see some of these other windows are now open. So one thing that I can do is click, well, first off, if I make any changes, then there'll be a blue dot there and I can go in and save. So save wasn't there before because we hadn't saved anything yet. Now we can save our changes as we go. This share map button that allows you to change the share settings. By default here it's just shared with myself, but I can also share it with my organization and with everyone or the public if you want anyone to be able to view the map. If you have access to this, will depend on your user type and roles within your organization. All right, and then this allows you to create an app from a map. There's other ways to access these settings too, and there are more options, but these are just for instant apps, experience builder, ArcGIS story maps, and then dashboards. And then lastly, down here at the bottom, you can print. So that just prints a layout there from the map. Okay, so that's the stuff on the left side. On the right side, we generally have more like layer specific settings. So let's go to this layer list here, click on this. And you can see here we have this properties menu for this specific layer. So this allows you to do some editing based on visibility, the symbols. You can also access the symbology or styles with this here. We'll spend some time talking about that later. Filter allows you to apply some type of filter expression if you don't want to display or show all the data. Effects allow you to apply some type of visualization effects to the data. I don't generally do this, but let's just, for the heck of it, we'll just look at like this. So that kind of gives it this like glow effect. You can turn those off, right? This is for editing the pop-up. We're going to spend some time with that later. There's also options just to edit the pop-up in ArcGIS Pro and then port it over. This is for working with fields. So with fields, one thing that's nice is if you don't have a nice clean name, you can go in here and update the display name to have a cleaner name that shows up in pop-ups and tables and whatnot. This is for working with labels. We're not really going to do anything with that in here, but if you want to add labels and whatnot, you can. Build and configure charts. Build and configure forms. That opens up a new window there to build a form. Doing analyses. There's different types of analyses available depending on the type of data you have loaded in. Obviously, the analysis options are not as robust as they are in the desktop software. This is for doing editing. If you have a layer that has editing enabled, add sketch allows you to draw into like a temporary file, and then we've got lastly this map tools object. So location services, measurements, getting directions. Okay, so these are basically all the buttons that are within the map viewer. Let me see if we can close this. Just a couple other things that are here. We have a search, so you can search for places. I think you can use coordinates. This puts it into like this hides the interface, so you just see the map. This takes you back to your home default extent, which I never really set, so it just kind of goes back to the original like default extent, which is the US, and then you've got your zoom in and zoom out buttons. Okay, so that is basically this kind of a layout for the map viewer.